Hi everyone and welcome to day 3 of NaNoWriMo. How are we doing? How you doing? How's your word count going? Are you still steaming ahead? It's only day 3, but still, come on! It's too early for that really, isn't it? Right, so today, basically, what has happened somehow is, in the story we've got the main one, I suppose, is she? I don't know. The first person we've introduced, the first character is Hadley. But now I've done it, I started writing it from Ellie, who is the person who's just emailed Hadley about the whole haunted house possibility thing. So I've written it from her perspective, and there is obviously something very wrong going on for her, because she is essentially, again, I'll put the story, then somebody said, oh sorry, it was really grainy, so I'll try and make it like bigger font so there'll be more pages but less time, because that's a long bit to put on the end of a video really. But I'll try and make it like bigger font so it's easier to read if you would like, or you can ignore it really, I'll tell you what's happening. But yeah, essentially she is just getting on a bus and just sitting on the bus all day staring out the window. She's obviously not got anything else going on. She's talking about they left me. She's in a little flat, a little like a bedsit as well, and she's talking like, oh, they just left me here, they left me with this card, and I buy food and occasionally it doesn't taste good, which she's not cooking it properly or something, but that's essentially what's happening. She's calling other people humans and she's watching these humans, and that she stays out all day until the buses stop running. Then she goes home and she watches YouTube, which is where she came across Hadley's video and is sure that she remembers this house but isn't quite that sure. But then she is sure, and there's also obviously something going wrong with her where she is not well and not being taken care of, which in reality happens a lot. I've certainly come across enough things in my job where people are not getting the help that they need. But anyway, let's take that and put that over there. Anyway, yes, so that's essentially what's happening. So what I want to talk to you about, like, I know what I'm talking about, I know what I'm supposed to do. It's always whether I can actually do it myself, but at least I know I'm supposed to be trying. It's character voice, because we all speak differently, and the idea is, obviously you're hearing me and you can hear what my voice sounds like, but if the idea is, if somebody writes just a line of dialogue without Bob said at the end, and then another line of dialogue without Dave said at the end, you should to a certain extent be able to tell which is Bob and which is Dave, because of the words that they use and the way that they speak and the length of their sentences and punctuation that you use and all that kind of thing. So ideally all your characters should have more distinct voices rather than everyone sounding like you, the author stroke narrator's voice. That's what we should be aiming for. So we have 2 distinct characters. I'm going to draw again. Why am I doing this to myself? I don't know. We have Hadley, who is, is it I should have looked it up. Is it agoraphobic, where you're just kind of worried about leaving the house? She has all these grand plans and stuff, but she's just actually has to go out and do that. That's sort of the way I'm looking at it. She's I think it is agoraphobic. Too scared to leave the house. She possibly, you know, why she's thinking about this past house and things, just thinking about it a bit too much. Almost said lamenting on. That's not the right word. It's another word, but in the thing of NaNoWriMo, I'm not editing that out. So we got Hadley, who is this way, and then we have this new character of Ellie, who has essentially emailed her, and she's okay, it seems, to a certain extent. Of she seems, obviously she can't really be because she's not living a life, but she seems okay in her life. She would rather be out than in, and she really does not seem to be seeing other people in terms of what they are, of, oh, another person, she's calling them humans and stuff, and has much less memory of her past than Hadley maybe does. So we have two distinct characters, but you cannot see them in a book. In a film, this actress or this actress, but in a book you can't see them. Yes, you can write said Hadley or Ellie lamented. There you go, I used the word. But you can't see them. And ideally, especially if you have long dialogue, he said, she said, she said, he said, they said, keeps going. There's only so many ways you can put they said in this way. They whispered. She panted. Why is she panting? I don't know. I was looking at the word pantster over there. But that's a very important thing. And now we have one chapter from one character's perspective and another chapter from the other character's perspective. And what I'm going to be writing later on is a third chapter from back to Hadley's perspective until they come together. I'm still umming and ahhing about first or third person, if I'm honest. I've written it a bit of both, and I may continue with that. The journal entry seems to be a good way of getting both of them done. I kind of want my cake and eat it with that one, but I haven't decided yet. And the other one I'm writing is in third person, but following one distinct character. Again, each chapter. They do seem to be coinciding, these two stories. But yeah, that's the thoughts that I have. As in, I haven't made my mind up, but I'm just going to keep going, and whatever I end up doing will, I'm going to assume, be the right thing. That's my plan. So it's different voices. Hadley has, well, whether I've actually managed to do this, but from now on I'm thinking she will have longer sentences, more cohesive than Ellie. Ellie there's a stage where it's just a short, like 3 or 4 line, and then another as she's sort of going through her thoughts. Did I? I don't know. Maybe this kind of thing. My handwriting is awful. That's not how you spell sentences, but it's fine. You understand. I'm sure you do. Be kind. So Hadley she has her issues, and she's obviously sort of enclosed herself down, but she is more able to present herself, if you like. So that's one way I can get a sort of difference, where you can just visualize the different line structures, and then you would have more maybe, sorry, I coughed. You'd have more a different punctuation for each as well, shorter parts within the sentences as well. So that there's different ways we can do this. Obviously different language, different words used. Let's put it that way. Colloquial or more educated, or a different way of using different words, and maybe one character will favour certain words and another would favour other words. That's another way that we can sort of, just so the reader can sort of mainly know, oh, this is this character talking. You still say who is talking, but just to sort of help along with that. It is something to think about, getting different characters speaking in different ways through the words that they use, through the sentence structure, through their tone, trying to get tone into the words. That's essentially what we're going to do, getting accent even. They are unfortunately both in the same area, so because they both went past this so-called haunted house when they were about the same age, so they do, unfortunately for me, have the same accent. And accents are, it's difficult to write accents without coming across a little insulting, so be careful with that one. But you know, if you were writing an English character and an American character, you could still be quite overreaching with the way you do it. But we obviously have very distinct, we use different words. Like if you had an Australian character and an English character, although actually our words are way more similar than English and American. I have noticed through watching Australian Sims players, they actually use a lot of the same words, but there are distinct words for regions and countries and all that kind of thing. So tone and possibly a little bit of accent are things that you need to think about. Hadley may be more professional in the way she presents herself. Ellie seems a bit more childlike. That's another way that she seems to be coming across, I think. If you want to read it later, have a go. I don't know if I've actually done this yet because I'm just sort of thinking about it after writing it. That's the thing with NaNoWriMo. You go through and each day you think, actually, I didn't like what I did. So this chapter, I'm going to go forward in this way. That kind of thing. But essentially that is what my mind is on now. If I have decided to do 2 distinct characters, 2 distinct points of view, and their similarities, certainly they're of the same age, they're from the same area, they both have their emotional issues going on slightly different ways that it's presenting. But so I'm also mucking about with a microphone right now, so if the sound's a bit off, that would be why. And let me know if this is any better. I don't know, I'm just trying to faff about with things on a, shall we call it a budget? But yeah, that is my thought process for the day, so I better get on with it really, hadn't I? Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Bit of a shorter one today, just me faffing about, talking to myself really. What do I want to do? How I'm going to make the reader recognise which is Hadley, which is Ellie, especially when they come together and we start having dialogue. They haven't met yet, so there's no need to worry just yet, but it'd be good to, at the beginning of the book, so the reader can already see how each of them speak. They're writing their diaries down, so it is in that way similar to how they'd speak. So we shall have to see how I go with that. But how are you doing? Comments down below. How's it all going? We're only on day 3. We can do this. Oh, my word count yesterday. I just made, I think about, for this one, 2003. And I was like, oh, because it was a struggle. I had stuff to do anyway. So I was like, right, just sit down, turn the TV off. You know you're using it to procrastinate and get it done. And then later on the day, I think it's like 2000 and a single number, something like that, 2009 or something like that for the other one, which I'm quite pleased with how that one's going. There's also another character now. I seem to be, as I said, doing the same thing for both in a way, but we have this other character and this whole lore going on that I don't know where it's going to go. For some reason, he saw all these glass beads all on the floor, and there's 28 of them. I don't know why there's 28 of these glass beads, where they're from, or what's going to happen to them. But they're in the story now, so I'm going to be using them later on. Good old MacGuffins. Right, anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed me blathering on to myself. But anyway, comments down below would be absolutely wonderful. And please like and subscribe, would make my day. But I will be speaking about something or other tomorrow. Bye.